Can we get your attention down front, please?
Okay, so last year I was given the amazing opportunity by our school to attend a Hobie Leadership Conference at Northbrook University. And there you have all kinds of speakers come and talk to you about various issues and stuff like that. And one of them was Kevin Tawala, or otherwise known as Mr. Peace. He is a motivational speaker, peace activist, hip-hop artist, author, and poet. He's the founder of Being Who I Want to Be, LLC, which is a program designed for at-risk youth. And through this program, he speaks to a wide range of schools all over Michigan. From Livonia Churchill High School to Spring Arbor University. His message has reached over 50,000 people. He also serves as Michigan's 15th District Team Leader for the Department of Peace, and he is in charge of a program called Students Empowering Students at the University of Michigan. But that only is a little what he does. This guy does a lot. But through all of his programs, he has had such an impact on so many young lives, including my life that weekend I went to Hobie. So I want you guys to really listen to what he has to say, because just as he had an impact on my life, he could have an impact on yours too. So please welcome Mr. Peace.
Thank you, Tracy. Give a round of applause, guys, to Tracy. She's bringing me here, of course, and just it's great to see that type of passion, dedication to pay off for something like this. I do go by Mr. Peace. I took a bath this morning in preparation of speaking here, and I guess now I'm officially a fighting bee, so I'm excited about that too. First I thought they were the killer bees, but I found out they're the fighting bees, so that's cool. Before beginning my talks though, I'd like to let those know that I'm speaking to let all of you know that every breath that I take today will be worth your time. So, I wanted to talk today about diversity. And obviously, a lot of you know what day it is. Martin Luther King Day. What are your thoughts when you hear the word diversity? Like, what comes to mind? What kind of words? Acceptance? Okay. Anybody else? Say it again? Unity. Okay. Good one, yeah. Someone said diverse, one of the classes, I'm like, okay, diversity, diverse, yeah. Creative. Anybody else? Diversity. People last hour, they had mentioned religious beliefs, political affiliation, sexual orientation. Just someone, say it again? Judging people, yeah. And what I really want to key in on today and talk about is that when we're talking about diversity, the challenges and the invitation is to not just look at somebody's exterior and not just see the race, the color, the ethnicity, the culture aspect of diversity, but to see somebody for who they are on the inside, and to basically humble ourselves and let our hearts and minds fill with love, that we can see that side of each person. I had a friend living in New York, in Harlem, and this is back in 03, 04, so some of you guys were probably around 9 or 10, I'm thinking. Everyone here is about 18 right now? Okay. And he was there when we had this huge blackout all across the northeastern United States. And there was power outage for about 3 days. The only thing open near me was like this Wendy's, 2 cities over, so I had to go there to get my Frosties and make a double cheeseburger. I'm starting to like the crispy chicken sandwich with the Monterey cheddar slice. Anyways, that's beside the point, but when he was in there in Harlem, what he noticed is that when the lights went off, right? So when the lights had gone off, he saw people, just assume that those are off too, but he saw people, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, African Americans, Caucasians, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, all these people that came together in this time of crisis, working together in this time of crisis and time of need, right? And it was beautiful. It didn't matter who the person was, what they looked like. He saw these people for who they were. As soon as the power went back on, lights came back on. The opposite of Enrique Iglesias. Don't turn off the lights, etc. But when they came back on, it's like so did the hatred. So did the judgments and the stereotypes. The racism. And my question, through all that, and I've seen it happen in Haiti, and I've seen it happen with Hurricane Katrina, and with the Twin Towers, and other disasters that we've had in our history, that when we have a disaster, a tsunami hits, whatever it is, that people come together in that time of need, despite their backgrounds. People look through that to help one another, to help their fellow human. So it always begs the question, though, why can't it always be like that? Why does it have to take a crisis to unite? Talking about unity. I hold Peace Day events in Ann Arbor every year. I graduated a Wolverine. Do I have any fellow Wolverines in the audience? A couple? Great, thank you. I saw that. Now, believe it or not, I grew up Spartan fan. I did. My team Cleves, the 2000 Spartans, that was my team. OP, Andrew Hudson. Some of you basketball fans might know. Okay, I was going to go to state just because of his own, but I ended up going to Michigan. We hold events every year. This is going to be our 7th annual this year on the main diet there. And it's called Peace Day, Promoting Ethnic and Cultural Equality Day. And we hand out these shirts there. One race human. And the importance of what I see here is that when you're trying to see the worth in somebody else, that if you can see them as that first, as human. Not saying to not appreciate or celebrate or highlight all of their differences, all the diversity, but if you can see somebody for this first, I think we solve a lot of the world's problems quicker and faster. The problem is, we let a lot of things get in the way of seeing people for who they really are and seeing the worth in other people. $20 bill here. How many of you guys would like it? A couple? Had some people in second hour that said, oh, it's not a 50 or 100, so that's okay. Every hand goes up. All right. If I crumple it, more or less, I'm thinking most of you still want it. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair assumption. Okay. Your name? Aaron? A little bit. You guys still want it?
Yeah.
What if I tooted on it? You still want it? Not just an air toot, I'm talking about like a smelling. Some of you would. I had a 6-year-old girl who said, I don't care if this dog doo on it, I'll take it. Like she really wanted it. And some of the younger kids I speak to, it's like it's a $1 bill. But it's Monopoly play money and they still want it. It really doesn't matter. They'll take it. And the point that I always try to come across is that when it comes to money, that so many of us are so quick to accept. Me, front center, me. Right here. But when it comes to people, if they're not the right image or size in our minds, they're a little bit crumpled themselves, torn, crippled. They don't have the right brand name on here. They don't fit in. They don't have the right smell, whatever it is. We aren't quick to accept. I had a friend who was speaking at Texas Tech University a couple years back, and after his talk, this kid came up to him in a wheelchair. And he kind of like gestured for him to kind of like bend down a little bit so he could tell him something. And it was after everybody had taken off and cleared the room. And he pulled him close and he said, I have a girlfriend. He's like, I have a girlfriend. He's like, oh, okay, that's great. And she loves me. He's like, okay, great. And then he went on to say that she loves me for this, and not this. He pointed to his chair. I had a friend who's a teacher in Detroit, teaches at community college down there, and he had a class of 65 students, 65. So, how many do we have here, approximately, you think, or is it about 65? Okay, so about this size of a class. And he decided before class one day to kind of dress up like somebody in need. So he put on like these raggedy clothes with holes in them, all torn up. He put on this scarf and this hat so you couldn't really see his face too good. He had this like little tin cup for donations. He had crutches, the whole 9 yards, right? And he lines up about 2 blocks away from where his class is, in a spot that every one of his class members, every one of his students has to pass by that spot to get to class. And so they start to arrive. 60 out of 65 of them walked right past him without any type of acknowledgement. Or they even went as far, some of them, to say, you're a disgrace, you're a loser, you're a bum, get lost, we have class here today, we don't want you here. Only 5 out of 65 showed some type of compassion to him. Or they had an extra bagel or a donut or a banana, gave it to him. Some had some spare change. Those that didn't said, I'll pray for you. So he gets up, after they all went by, goes into class, and walks in the room. And everyone's looking at him, thinking, what's this guy doing here? And he starts to undress, take his hat off and his scarf, and they realize that it's their teacher. And you can start to feel almost some of the emotions that they were feeling at the time of, embarrassment and shame and guilt, that maybe they could have done something different. Martin Luther King, he said that I believe that unconditional love is the final word of reality. I believe that unconditional love is the final word of reality. To me, that means that his reality, his dream world, was where somebody is judged not by the color of the skin, but by the content of the character, right? And that in order to achieve that, we have to reach a status as a society of unconditional love. How many of you guys have dogs at home? What are some of the names? Any crazy ones? We've had Goose so far. Skeeter? Skeeter? I like that.
I have Pixie Dust.
Pixie Dust.
Moonlight Dust.
All right, I like that. Roll over Pixie Dust. Do you want to watch Peter Pan, Pixie Dust? Pixie Dust. Come on.
I got one.
Yes.
Frodo.
Frodo.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
F-R-O-D-O.
Okay, Frodo. Is that the guy from the guy from Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
The Hobbit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a chicken named Kurt because someone curb stomped it on accident.
Curb?
Kurt.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
K-U-R-B-Y.
All right, yeah. Say it. Quaylet. Quayler. Quayler. Okay. Cool. Like it. Anybody else? Any other dog names? What is it? Roscoe? Like Roscoe Dash? Yeah. Okay, cool. I have a cat named Bulldog. I have a Beware of Dogs sign out on my apartment wall. And he's like a guardian bulldog. He's a protector. He's a watchdog. He's a cat, but he's built. He's built. He has firm haunches, and I feel that if an intruder were to invade my premises, that he would take action. He would respond promptly. What do your dogs offer you guys? What are some things that they offer you? What's that? Annoyance? Some of them do. Companionship. Someone said that last hour, yeah.
Someone go get that animal stuff.
That animals for you?
Yeah, sweet bird.
So they're like retriever. Someone said that they sniff butts the first hour. Great. What's the L word? Love. I've heard that dogs don't live as long as humans because it doesn't take them as long to figure out the meaning of life.
Love it.
Which, to me, is to reach a point of unconditional love, where you're loving others without any conditions. No conditions. Not, I love you if you look a certain way, if you don't have that, if you do have this, without any conditions. Mother Teresa, MLK, Gandhi, all these people that I think embody that, for sure. Have you guys heard the word of Ubuntu before? Ubuntu? It's from the South African culture. And Ubuntu means, I am because you are. I am because you are. I exist because you exist. How many of you guys have best friends here? Anybody sit next to your best friend? Is this your best friend? Oh, okay. And what makes him your best friend?
I don't know. Well, he makes me laugh. I can tell him everything. He helps me with my family problems. He's there for me when I need him.
Support. Okay. Same way, or is other things that make her your best friend? Same deal. Okay. Yeah.
When I'm old, we're gonna have wheelchair races, and they're gonna whip my butt.
Okay. That's great. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping when I'm 90, 95, that we're kicking in our wheelchairs too. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Okay, I got two things.
Okay.
Number one, what Natasha said, I actually already have wheelchair races with my brother, but we go on 2 wheels.
Okay.
And then, second off, my best friends are because they're funny and entertaining.
Now, is your brother one of your best friends, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, funny and entertaining. Anybody else in the second half of the audience? Best friends? Gotta get a little more social. It's okay. So, the point I'm trying to make though is that you're all, if I went through all of you and you all offered some type of feedback, that you're all giving me internal responses. That it's not, clothes are nice, right, brand name, how deep their pockets are, how deep they aren't, what kind of car their parents' house, what kind of car their parents drive, or they drive, or where they live. It's all about the inside. But for us to be able to discern past that and see past that, it takes effort. It takes us moving past fear. I was at the OG the other day, Olive Garden, and I had a friend who helped me make this sign, but this isn't the original. I was there, and the way it happened, where's your name? Charles? Okay. Your name's Jared for now. So, what I had seen develop basically is that this man was sitting by the bus stop and had a bag next to him, so I could tell that he was homeless. And his head was down. And as I watched people walk past him, I saw a couple different things. I saw some that immediately went to like a fake phone call combo and said they were talking to their mom, and I don't think they were. Hey mom, glad to hear from you. I know you're not really there, but I need to talk to somebody just so I can get past this. Bye. Put the iPod earbuds in, the Beats by Dre, and walked past. And some people that, as soon as they saw this person, even though even though like, the bus stop's right there, they were like, wanted to, make sure, like almost like trying to hide and like not let them see them for any type of like voice or interaction or, and so, okay, I practice it, I do. And so they could reach it. The other spot, even though it was closer going that way, just to avoid, again, this person even talking to them. And I remember meeting with this person, sitting on the concrete with them. I remember sitting down next to him, and I had said, the first thing I said was that I see you. I see you as a human being. I see you as equal. I see you. Okay. And so, what came out of that though is that, thanks for being a good sport, appreciate it. But what came out of it, you can put it down too much. What came out of it though is that for as much as I empowered this person, right? For as much as I gave, it's like I received that much more. And for as much as I might have encouraged him, it's like he kind of gave me hope too. And I think there's so many people in our lives that hopefully all of us have that hope. But I'll tell you what, a lot of times people that are homeless, people in jail, the outcasts of society, that's something that they lack, and that's hope. And still it pains me to see a homeless body by the bus station. People going out their way to avoid a situation or any interaction with this human in need. We need human kindness is all that his sign reads. Still they just keep passing by, some zig and some zag, not wanting to have to talk to the man dressed in the rags. But his head's down in shame, sitting by his plaid bag. The words on his poster are a prayer for someone to lend a hand. So I approach him because my heart trips, yeah, it bleeds. For those less fortunate, our fellow human beings. You see, some people more than anything just want to be seen. Especially the dirty and the shunned of the society. And if you can't spare any change for a beggar in the streets, at least encourage them to get back onto their feet. And listen to their story, the sweet song that they speak. For as much as you give, the more you shall receive. There's so much pain. So I want to continue to invite you guys to look past some of the curtains that we do put up. That's one thing, to be able to see the worth in someone else. But I think it's even harder to sometimes see it in ourselves. To see our self-worth. To know that we are worth something and that we're special. That we have value. Because for me, back in high school, I was the chameleon. I changed who I was around every group that I was around, just to fit in. I denied my faith on multiple occasions, just to fit in. And that still hurts me to this day, thinking about that. Just because being accepted was more important than what I believed in, the core of who I was. And I think about all the pressures that all you guys face. With the grades, with the sports. The country with the highest youth suicide rate, does anybody know? Say it again? Japan, yes. Do you know why? There's pressure, a lot of it, academically. It's a certain culture that either you succeed or you don't. That around your age, that certain exams are given that you either become part of this group or you don't. And you're shunned if you don't become part of that higher group. Sometimes by your parents, sometimes by your peers. I've heard the stories, people that have all A's all through high school and get an A- their senior year. A girl that wanted to take her life after she had an A-. Seriously. I've heard the stories of mothers who have lost their children. People that go to MIT, Harvard, University of Chicago, Johns Hopkins, elite universities around the U.S., where they find their son or daughter hanging by a clock cord in their room. Because the pressures are so intense. To try to fit in, to see your worth. My sister Hillary, she's done some modeling in the past, so she gets a good looks from her brother. But she was with me one night where I was talking to one of my other friends who has depression issues. She's always second guessing herself, her outer beauty, her inner beauty, needs affirmation constantly. And I was meeting with her and trying to encourage her. And what came out of it is after I spoke with her, I ended up taking my sister home. And on the ride home, I remember saying, "Hey, Hillary, I mean, it's got to be so easy for you," just kind of jokingly. "It's got to be so easy for you to meet guys. Everybody's got to want your number, right?" She started crying. And she said, "Kevin, you don't know how hard it is for me. That I have friends in my life that are around me that they work out till they pass out. They starve themselves just so they can try to look like me. They go to parties, nobody talks to them, they always talk to me. I feel terrible and so do they." She said, "I can't meet anybody for the right reasons. When I meet a guy, the first thing he sees is this. He can't see my inside." And I got one of my other friends, this Miss America contestant that used to always hang out with him and his girlfriend, almost every weekend. He's like an average Joe guy, and eventually he's like, "Look, why are you spending time with me? Why are you hanging out with me when you could have any guy out there, have any date out there?" And she said, "Because you see me. Because you see my worth and you see me for who I am. And you appreciate that." You guys ever played ponies before? Pony? Here's how it goes. I was with a 4-year-old at the time. Comes from like a below poverty line family. Her mom was there with her 2 other kids. She has 3 kids, 2 jobs, and not the best clothes, don't smell the best. Playing ponies at the kitchen table. You get these little miniature ponies, right? And the napkins were the blankets, and the little candles on the table were like the fire for the horses to stay warm at night. And we were playing ponies. I remember asking her, "What do you want to be? What do you want to do?" I just like sometimes asking those types of questions, you know? And I remember her looking at me and saying that she wanted to be a princess. She wanted to be a princess. And I had to look away because I was getting choked up, you know? And I eventually turned back to her. I said, "You know, you already are one." And I think every woman, every person deserves to have that, to be treated like that. To have that type of worth attributed to you. I was at a workshop a couple years back through a program called Challenge Day. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's a program that encourages youth to be the change. And there's 50 people at the workshop, 25 women, 25 men. We're going to the workshop, and after 3 days, I was more close to these 25, 50 people than I was my own family. Because of how real we got, how vulnerable we got, how much we shared with each other. And so we get to the last day and they're asking these questions. Have you done this? Have you ever experienced this? If so, stand up. And they got to the question, how many of you have ever contemplated suicide? Out of 50 people, I'm the only one that did not stand, that did not rise. And as I looked up, I just started crying. Because after 3 days of getting to see all the gold, all the gifts that every one of these people had, and then thinking to myself that they, at some point in their life, wanted to take their life, it was unfathomable to me. And it just hurt to think about that. There's this girl, school in California, 2,000 people in an auditorium, like 20 times the size of this, right? The whole high school. One of my mentors was speaking at the high school. And she got up on the microphone during the last part of the talk. It was an open mic session. She got up on the microphone, and she was kind of already the laughing stock of the school. She was a paraplegic. She was disabled, so she walked differently. She got on the stage, you could already kind of hear subtle laughter begin. She got up there to speak. And she ended up pointing to the star football player of the high school, who was like high school All-American, California dream god, you know, just like, you guys have heard of Moses in the Red Sea. Like when he walked through the hallways, it's like they parted because he was that popular. It was like he started walking, people were like, oh, like that, you know. And she gets on stage and she points to him and says, I love you. I love that boy. And people start laughing more, you know, like it's starting to pick up. She keeps saying it. I love that boy. And right then and there, he had a choice of whether he was going to join in on the laughter or choose a different path. He ended up getting up in front of 2,000 people, 2,000 students and faculty, and he ran across the gym. He runs over to her, and he picks her up, and he gives her one of the biggest hugs she's ever had in her life. He twirls her around. What continued for 3 hours after that was every one of those 2,000 students, one after another, 2,000 times, came up and gave her a hug. 2,000 times. And you can't even begin to imagine the impact that it had on her. That the one action could have saved her life. And the reason I'm bringing that up, and if anything gets home to anyone here today, is that all of you have that same power. All of you have that same power. Through one action like that to save a life. But you have to understand your worth, you have to see it. What is your name? How do you say it? Julie? So I go up to Julie. I say, Julie, you're amazing just the way you are. And then I saw your face. And I say, Julie, I see you. I believe in you. Truly, I know that you're a leader. That you can impact so many lives during your lifetime with your open heart. That you're going to touch so many lives. I believe in you. And I say that to her. It doesn't matter if all 60 of us come up and say the same thing to Julie, or we have 2,000 people come up and say the same thing to Julie, unless she buys it inside herself, or anyone here. And I did pick on you because you are very beautiful, so thank you, okay? But the point is, we have to see our own worth in order to reach our dreams, in order to work with other people too. So if you're able to do that, you will see your own self-acceptance and the acceptance of others, then I think you guys can pursue some of your dreams. What are some of your dreams? You guys are seniors, you're going on to college soon. What do some of you guys want to be?
Mechanical engineer.
Mechanical engineer? Cool. You said that, right? Oh, you did, sorry, okay. Mechanical engineer, okay. Clinical psychologist, okay. Anybody else? Yeah. Oh, you're just, like, right there. Anybody else? Say it again. Psychiatrist, nurse. Okay, like RN. Okay. Anybody else? We talked about our friend.
President.
President? Yeah. All right. Some love. All right, good. All right, good. There we go. Okay. Go to the bowl. All right. Yeah. All right. So we were talking about last hour. A friend in Alabama. And one time he called me up and I said, hey, what are you doing? He said, I'm bush hogging for dew melons. I said, what? He said, yeah, man, I'm bush hogging for dew melons. I put the phone on mute, laughed for a minute or two, and then I muted it. But bush hogging's like a machine, I guess, and like dew melons, they're actually like melons out there. And I don't know. Any of you guys undecided out there? Think about it. Could be a good career path. Bush hogging for dew melons. Could be a good Facebook status update. Hey, what are you doing tonight? Bush hogging for dew melons, yo. That's how we do in the bath. Taking a shower, too. No bad for me. You know what's funny? As the ages get older and older that I speak to, that I speak from age 5 to 95, as the ages get older and older, fewer hands go up when I ask them what they want to do, what their dreams are. When I ask a group of 5 and 6-year-olds, their hands up. I want to be a rocket scientist, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a rock star, I want to be an NBA basketball player, I want to be a psychiatrist, a scientist, a doctor, president. I ask the follow-up question, how many of you believe that you're already that? Every hand still up. Of course I am. Yeah, I can do that. Talk to middle schools, further hands go up. Talk to high schools, further hands go up. Talk to colleges, further hands go up. Talk to adults, I start asking them, what did you want to be? You see, these dreams that we have, many times we're told that we can't do something, that we're not good enough, that you're not worth it. Be realistic. How are you going to make any money doing that? And you start to believe some of these things. You know, nine people, what's your name with the monster here? Natasha, 9 people tell Natasha, your hair looks great. I like it. I mean, Herbal Essence, the Vidal Sassoon, you got it going on, right? 9 people out of 10. But one person says, Natasha, something's got to change, girl. You know, like with the hair. Our tendency is to remember the one negative thing. The one negative thing. Instead of the positives. Natasha, I did pick on you because your hair is, I do. So the challenge is, though, is you guys are 18, most of you. That why not start pursuing something now? If you have the time now, why not do it? I remember it clearly, guys. I sat down, back when I was 22, sat down with my parents, Dennis and Mary, and I sat down with them, and I remember it was the first time I came back from workshop, and the first time I consciously told my dad that I loved him. I don't come from a huggy, touchy family. Some of you guys might be able to relate to that. And love for me, growing up, was based on performance. If I perform, I receive love. If I get good grades, I receive love. If I do good in sports, I receive love. And sometimes even if I performed, it wasn't good enough. And I probably said I loved you to my dad when I was growing up, I'm sure when I was young. But saying consciously, I said I loved him. So the first thing he said was, what do you want? Right? You guys said that to your parents tonight. Try that. See what they say. Second one was, is he on drugs? Right? And I kept saying it, but I kept saying, I love you, right? And I went on to tell them both what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. That I wanted to speak. That I wanted to go across the country and talk to youth about their passions, about their dreams. That I wanted to do this for my life. And so the 21 questions came. And the 21 questions came, where are you going to get the money? How are you going to support yourself? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? And I said, look, I don't know. But I do know that when I'm doing this, I'm 110% alive. I'm on fumes right now, guys. I apologize. I was up till 2, got up at 4 to get here because I wanted to make this special today. This is my 4th presentation, so I'm running a little bit low on energy. But I said, I don't know. But it's something that's burning in me so much, and I'm so on fire for it, that I have to try it. I remember asking my mom and dad, I said, what did you want to do? What did you want to be? For 35 years of their life, it was something that they didn't want to do. They both worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan for 35 years. My mom wanted to be a teacher, my dad wanted to be an artist. They pushed their dreams aside to support our family, and I don't fault them, I don't fault anybody's parents that chose to do what was best for their family at the time, based on the tools that they had. But I'm saying right now, you're 18. I didn't know what I wanted to do to my senior year of college. But then I already had 2 degrees. It's something totally different than what I wanted to do for my life. But why not start if you can now? Because there are no guarantees. We don't know when our last breath's going to be. Show of hands, how many of you have been to a funeral? Keep them up if you've been to a funeral, somebody that died at too young of an age, in your eyes. I graduated in 03. There's 6 fewer seats that are going to be filled for our 10-year anniversary. You don't know when your last breath's going to be. I had a friend, went to a Coney Island diner, this guy sits down next to him, random guy, starts pouring his heart out to him, said, I just got diagnosed with terminal cancer. I have 6 months to live. Is she okay? Okay. I have 6 months to live. I worked 40 years of my life getting all this money, all these riches, building up everything. So when I retire, I can enjoy them all. And now, he can't enjoy them all. Because he got 6 months to live. So that's the point I'm trying to say, is that we don't know necessarily when that's going to be, that we have to take action now. And for some of you that have no clue, that's what you want to do, that's fine too. Think about what angers you. Think about what pisses you off almost. Because sometimes that could be what you're called to do. Some girl last hour said she wants to stop bullying. It angers her. Maybe that's where she's supposed to be. People that want to help out with the environment. Build better, more efficient things, right? Lead. Help sick people. Help the youth, underprivileged people, grandparents, etc. Where are you called to be? It's something you can think about. I don't want to have too much. Yeah, 15 more minutes, right? 2:30? Okay. All of you are going to do something great with your life. And all of you guys are already starting to do great things. And I can tell that because some of you have already touched my heart tonight, here. What you're going to have the opportunity to do going forward as you keep living your life is to have imprints on other people's hearts. Leave heart prints on their hearts. If you were to close your eyes right now, right? I know some of you have been doing that, right? But if you close your eyes, just point to yourself. Close your eyes and point to yourself.
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead. Close your eyes and point to yourself. Yeah. The majority of you are pointing where? Your heart. Someone last hour said, when I asked that question, I said, where are you pointing? He said, I can't say that. Whatever that meant. So, but a lot of times, guys, I mean, to be honest, sometimes this is all that people remember you for, is your heart. And so, are you living your life today as you want people to remember you for? Are your actions right now in line with what people are going to remember you for, or want to remember you for? Because you've been to these funerals you just showed me. And what are the things that they're talking about? It's not about the things, right? It's about what kind of person the person was. Were they a family man, a family woman, workaholic, caring person? loving mom, great father, all these things. Something you can start thinking about. Can I get the president up here? President, come on up here. Hey, you come? Okay, that'd be great. With the feet facing me, can you come? Yep. Okay. And then, oh, okay, yeah, both can come. Yeah, come on too. Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on. AE, wanna come? Yep, AE. Can I get you? VHS, purple. Okay. Get the blue, yeah. Okay. Show some love. Let's get my state hat here too. All right, give these guys a round of applause. All right. Why don't you hold some things for me real quick? Can you guys stretch this banner out amongst you? Here, you can take hold that one for me. Okay, great. And that one, you can hold that, please. And Smarty, that one hold. And if you can hold this with your, great. So what I have here are just some things that reinforce why I do what I do. So I got multiple banners like this, not because I like Domino's, I do. Good pizza. But really because people leave their marks, their peace comments, their love comments, their names, and it's just kind of a reminder, it kind of reinforces what you do and why you do it. And there's times that you're going to have doubts, right? But it's being able to work past that. This was from Cole Academy over in Lansing, kindergarten class. They all did their handprints, like in a peace sign, signed their names. This is a copy of my birth certificate. And when I came across this, I refound it a couple months ago in my parents' basement. I guess I cry a lot, but I feel like tears are strength. They're the sweat of your strength. There's a lot of people last hour came up to me and said that, a lot of things that I had brought up, brought some feelings, and they were crying or trying to cry, but when they looked over to their left or right, they didn't want to be shown as weak. And I know that for sure. I mean, growing up, we were put into those boxes. We say, don't cry, be strong, but really they heal. And I started crying about it because I thought about all of you and how every one of you has one of these, a birth certificate, and how when you were born, how your parents, the doctor, must have held it in their hands and said to themselves, who is this person going to be for this planet? Who is this boy going to be for this world? Who is this girl going to be? What are they going to give back? Are they going to be doing things with their life that people are going to want to remember them for? Who is this person? I started thinking about that. And then I had this Game of Life banner I did at a retreat with some youth. And just these little inspirational things is what keeps the fuel going. These hands, these wooden hands, one of my friends gave them to me as a gift. He was suicidal. He had just lost a close family member. His girlfriend broke up with him. He lost his job. And he was ready to check out. And so he gave me these hands, though, because I was a big support during that time for him, as a sign that I was his helping hands during that time in his life's greatest need. So now I see him every day, and it's like a visual reminder that every day now I want to be someone else's helping hands. I want to try to be someone else's aid. And so these are the things that I have that kind of shows it. And all these things, guys, right, they're all tangible. They're all tangible things. But what's going to happen is you're going to have the opportunity to see things to do things that aren't tangible, that aren't physical. When you have that impact on someone's heart, you can't see that. You can only experience the fulfillment behind it. I had a professor, Jerry Keeler, from U of M in Ann Arbor. He was a professor that had a big impact on me. And he told me, he said, Kevin, you know, there's going to be times in your life you're going to be able to do things in your life that you aren't always going to get awards and accolades for. You aren't always going to get paid for, but they're the right thing to do. He used to tutor this kid in math and algebra in high school, and just the fulfillment of this kid coming up to him before the basketball game saying, hey coach, because he called him that, I just got an A on this test, thanks for helping me out. That was enough reward for him. I got a letter 2 weeks ago that said that he died of cancer. He's 51. I had no idea. The last time I spoke to him was in 2007. And I mean, it like really hurt, you know, to see that, but I know that his message and maybe some of the lives that you talked about here today that you rose your hand for can still live on through the work that you're doing. That they didn't die in vain. When we talk about success, some people are going to say it's money. Some people are going to say it's things. Some people are going to say it's doing what you love. You have to make a choice where you're going to place your energies. Because eventually you're only going to have so much time in a day. And I can't tell you how many Facebook status updates I see every day that say, I'm bored, 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 I'm bored. I can't be bored anymore. I have so many things that I'm so on fire for in my life that every day is like a miracle. And every day I'm so passionate about what I do, it's something I can't even explain. But people that I see that do that, I'm like, write a rap, like create a poem, like go help somebody, do something. There's a world famous psychiatrist, you guys talked about doing that, and when they asked what he would prescribe somebody for depression, they're all ready to write down the prescription and how many, what the dosage is for what he would prescribe somebody. And his answer was, I tell the person to leave their house, lock the door behind them, go across the street, find someone in need, and help the person. Connect. Because the fulfillment you get from doing that, the connection you receive, is what comes back to give you that extra gift. That worth that you can find other people to help them out. Thanks, guys. You guys can have a seat. Give them a round of applause. Yeah. When it comes to money, guys, I know a lot of you are going to be leaving here soon, going to college. I worked 90-hour weeks one time in my life, 90 to 100-hour weeks. I worked 4 jobs. I put money ahead of everything in my life. My family, my friends, my faith. I lost connection with everybody. I was making a lot of money. But it wasn't worth it for what happened, you know, and how I almost lost people that I love the most through it. And I want to make it crystal clear before I leave today that I'm not telling any of you to not go out and make a lot of money doing what you're doing, to live comfortably, to have things. I'm not saying that at all. Because all of you deserve that, and all of you can have that. And money takes places like this, the school to run, the lights to work, you know, churches, libraries, your homes, food on the table. I mean, money has that. They say that money buys happiness, but that's always only temporary. I know people that make the 6 figures, and they buy more and more things, more boats, more homes, with the intention that they're going to enjoy it one day. But when they're working 15-hour days, working on their vacations, and then when they finally have a time to themselves where they are too tired to even enjoy themselves, it's not a way to live. Because I've seen people that have compromised their entire life for money, where that's their only motivation for what they do. And if it's your only motivation for what you do, you're never going to find true happiness. So the challenge is there, is that when it comes to success, it's going to have to be how you define it and what you're willing to say. I had a college counselor once tell me, he said, look, people come to him, kids your age, students your age, and they say, hey, I want to make $100,000 when I get out of college, just tell me how. I don't care. I don't care if I hate it, just tell me how to get there. And he like tells them to hold up basically, because he's like, if you pursue something that you hate, you're either A, going to get fired because you aren't doing a good job, or get fired because somebody outperforms you, or you're going to quit, or you're going to do what about 95% of the people do in today's world, I believe, and that's you're going to stay at that job for the rest of your life, doing something you hate because it's comfortable, because yeah, you're getting some money, getting some benefits, but you didn't have the courage to take a risk and pursue something that filled your soul. So that's why I'm up here today, to communicate that message to you, and to try to reach some of your hearts. I'm a motivational speaker, that's all external. The inspiration comes from within all of you, and what you choose to do with it. But know that I believe in you, and that I believe you can all touch so many hearts, thousands of lives. You already are, I know, in your lifetimes. With that, is Rushcliffe, is he here? Ripsher? All right, when you Ripsher up here, come on up. Yep, you come. I'd have you. Like that, I'm a mechanical engineer. You want to come too yet? Let's go. All right, and who else am I thinking? Julie. Yeah. Okay, great. So, I'm going to close a little bit of hip hop. That's cool with you guys. That's what I do sometimes. So, we'll end the day with that. If you guys want, I got cards. I've already had a couple people come up to me. I know a lot of you guys are going through a lot of pain. And I had a couple people come up to me already today and tell me they wanted to email me or call me because they need to talk about something. I don't have the answers. All of you guys do inside. But I can try to guide you, at least offer you some of my insight to what I've been through. Feel free to take some of that, get at me on F-Book, it's Facebook. I also got some CDs left over. If they're still left, if not, get on my Bandcamp site, you can download it. I got 2 mixtapes out, Peace Be With You and Need Human Kindness. All right, so with that, my boy, the buck guy in the front here, I'm loving you still, all right, you know what I'm saying? Hold that for a second. All right. All right, we gotta get in our zone. All right. Rip shot. What's your shape, buddy? Thanks, man. All right. Hey, is Cuddles in here, by the way? Where's my boy Cuddles? Cuddles, come on up here. Come on, Cuddles. Here we go. Get that. Hoods, yeah, hoods, come on, please. Yeah, hoods, there you go. All right, so go. All right, so here we go. Look, all right, we gotta restart this. 1 second. Listen, guys, listen. All right, check it out, okay? When it comes to music, right? It's kind of like, it's like a black hole. It's like Justin Bieber. It's gotta consume you. It's gotta be everywhere, and it's gotta be like lotion, like you put lotion on your body, and it just like soaks into your epidermis, your subepidermis, it goes into your veins, and it's like that. It's like how's your Michael Jackson in the shower? You know what I'm saying? Like woo. Okay. This is how I'm in a club. This is how I dance. Okay. Yo, there's a certain mystique when you seek to rap a missing piece of so unique. As we be given strength to the weak, the poetry deep. So sweet you find to get out your seat, cause once you've had a taste, you can't fall back and sleep. So you reach the point that doesn't have a return. Getting so close to that fire like 3rd degree burns. You let it consume you, you let it run through your veins. And drug those passion, no need for no king. Get the blue part, the hottest part of the flame flame. That's why it's bright blue. See the color of your eyes, 100 degrees. What it says on the thermometer, burns so bright like you were walking on Jupiter. Only getting hotter cause the world's getting colder. At least that's what I'm hearing from a box to reporters. With a written order for a new world order. And we need to stop living our lives a little bolder, yeah. It's my point of no return. Look into my eyes, see my blue flame burn. And it burns bright, and it burns deep. There's no time to waste, no time to speak. No, check it, it's my point of no return. Look into my eyes, see my blue flame burn. And it burns bright, and it burns deep. There's no time to waste, no time to sleep. Yo, everybody get the 517, come on. Get the hands up and roll from right to left. Everybody in the 517, come on. Put the peace signs up, come on from right to left. And then we just shake with it, we just shake with it, we just rock with it, we just cuddle with it, we just cuddle with it, we just cuddle with it, yeah, we cuddle with it. And shout out to G Loves, he ain't here right now, but I love him. Is that right, G Loves? G Loves, Diamond Parks too. Another one. Thank you so much for my holiday.